Professional paranormal investigations and eliminations. The franchise rights alone will make us rich beyond our wildest dreams.
While my generation claimed a ruined childhood in 1999 over The Phantom Menace, today's disgruntled moviegoers complain about people who menace phantoms. The popular Ivan Reitman movie Ghostbusters came out in 1984, a year after the last classic Star Wars movie. The summer of 2016 has a movie also called Ghostbusters, the year after a good Star Wars movie. It would be nice if there were symmetry. Had Aaron Gilbert, Abby Yates, Gillian Holtzman, and Patty Tolan opened up a branch of the established Ghostbusters franchise, instead of pretending the 1984 film never happened, there would be fewer disgruntled moviegoers. All I had to do was acknowledge the founders and to tie them into the continuity, so it feels like our Ghostbusters and not just a title being co-opted and a blank spot where Ghostbusters 3 was supposed to be. Winston Zeddemore could have met them at a job fair or a science convention to pitch starting up a branch. Gene Melness could later visit their new branch, preferably not in the overly familiar New York, to make sure the containment and the devices are up to code. It would be a bonus if Ray Stantz appeared to rattle off a list of safety checks. For some people, Ghostbusters 3 was the Ray Stantz cameo in Casper. For others, it was the 2009 video game the original cast happily provided voices for. But the impact of Bill Murray in Zombieland playing Ghostbusters and appearing at the Scream Awards in full uniform is that it created an appetite to see these characters again and find out where they are in life. Even Spike Lee reprised his role of Mookie from Do the Right Thing when he did a recent film called Red Hook Summer. And he made a bold choice as to the progress that confident young man made or didn't make by the time he was in his 50s. Hollywood gets it right if they revisit an iconic character at whatever stage of life the actor is and acknowledge the passage of time. Ghostbusters 2016 replaces a film that might have updated the original characters. Its function is to get the fans off of Bill Murray's back asking for a third film. It ignores the events of 1984, 1989, and the video game content of 2009, despite its first trailer mentioning 30 years later. It exists instead of what was called for and what was teased for many years. The response to disappointment voiced by fans was for millionaires and people living their dreams to dismiss it as pathology and nerd shame commenters or bloggers. Even in the hypersensitive cyberbullying climate, Sony and movie stars have no hesitation denigrating their detractors as neck-bearded, fedora-wearing old guys living in their parents' basements, and marveling that one outspoken younger YouTuber has a wife, because who on earth would marry a person who dares not help sell yet another remake? The issue of a female core of Ghostbusters is a misdirect, and Sony's proven deletion of comments on the original trailer that were not sexist, but making valid points, really should get more attention. I actually liked the cast and laughed at Paul Feig's previous movies, Bridesmaids, The Heat, and Spy. So this is a fine point. It's pure brand appropriation. It uses a title and a logo, and eventually added the familiar song. Ray Parker Jr. was successfully sued by Huey Lewis because the anthem of Ghostbusters contained music riffs too similar to I Want a New Drug. The premise itself, comedy characters confronting ghosts, is not new. Abbott and Costello did Follow That Ghost. Leo Gorcey did Bowery Boys Meet the Monsters and Ghost Chasers. Bob Hope did The Ghost Breakers. Mickey Mouse did Lonesome Ghosts. Larry Storch did a TV series in 1975 called The Ghostbusters, which became an animation series in 1986, Filmation's Ghostbusters. The same year, the animated series based on Ivan Reitman's movie began, The Real Ghostbusters. Lorraine Warren, who is portrayed in the Conjuring movies and appears as herself on a show called American Ghost Hunter and documentaries about the haunting in Connecticut, as well as the Amityville Horror, which were cases she was involved in that have been filmed. She and her husband Ed might be considered the closest thing we have to real-life Ghostbusters. It is not a problem to have a team comprised of female Ghostbusters. That is a canard being passed off by Sony to shame those who have no plans to see Ghostbusters remade. There's eager anticipation of Michael Keaton returning in Beetlejuice 2, but should Tim Burton or the studio decide to recast the character, there would be outrage, naturally. Anyway, that's all I want to say about it. I mean, if Disney had slapped the Star Wars brand onto Episode 7 without the promise of reconnecting with Carrie Fisher, Mark Hamill, and especially Harrison Ford in their iconic roles, fan enthusiasm would have been deflated. Anyway, that's about it for now. Thanks.